Hello, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Background Information. We're doing a character profile today, and we're doing about Kassandra Nycta. Oh, by the way, with that book, Last Rattle, I am getting on with the editing. It's just taking a little longer than normal because of how busy I've been, but it should be ready by June. Okay, but anyway, we're doing a character profile, and as usual, I'll give you a little quote from one of the stories they're in. Then I'll give you some of the information behind making this character, and then I'll give you the profile. So let's get into it. Kassandra Nycta. Agent Nycta was always quite boisterous but firm in her approach to work, and this is why a lot of the other agents found her a nightmare to work with. You could not keep secrets from her. Being a Strix, her ears were excellent, and so were her eyes. She had strength and agility too, but like many of the Night Stalker types, she only had her powers from dusk till dawn. She had her human form, a beautiful woman to lure in her prey, but it meant that getting anything done during the day was impossible, so suitable for her to work with a vampire like Aurel. Quote from the Last Rattle. I needed a Strix for the female romantic partner in the story of the Last Rattle. I needed someone that would be attached to the family that they were enemies to. Attached to the family that were enemies to Tibble, and I had to really think about what I was going to do. I wanted there to be good chemistry, but I also wanted her not to be just randomly angry at Aurel because he was a vampire or a viper, and so I made her something else, used to getting crap because she was the first Strix in the job, a little like him, but also because it's the 60s and women in this kind of physical role was still a little new. Originally, I was bouncing between making her a tomboy or making her just have a tough attitude. I decided she needed to have a sense of humour, needed to be straightforward, and maybe even have it so she doesn't care about insulting others. A bit blunt, perhaps. I wanted her to fit well working with Aurel and romancing with him. She ended up being a really good influence, and I rather enjoyed writing her. Though I do fear that later on I didn't use her as much as I was before, but I'll see as I edit through and go through that. I also needed someone who was not going to get bowled back into a pathetic heap by what was happening, so I think I made sure she was hard and determined enough for the role. So, name Kassandra Nycta, position Veil Agent, story featured in The Last Rattle and mentions in others, role female protagonist, gender female, description Pauline, big nose typical of the Strix in human form, long curly or wavy brown hair, olive skin and large yellow eyes, and a stout but curvy body. She doesn't look like she can't do the same stuff as everyone else and turns into a big brown Eurasian eagle owl. Around the veil, abilities excellent owl hearing, good sight in low light, and ability to turn into an owl and fly as well as can eat humans. Master the Almighty, personality, tough, not easily scared, always more bold than the people around her. Sometimes a little too headstrong for her own good, caring, devoted, but sensible. She has a tendency to be blunt at times and does tend to make swift judgments, but she's always willing to learn, and when you get on her good side, you're on there until you mess up royally. Relations, daughter of Gus Nycta, sister of Nico Nycta, niece of Athanasius Nycta, and cousin of Kester Nycta. History: Kassandra is born long after her uncle is already in prison for his works in trading vampire opium and her elder cousin's death. She grows up with her brother and her cousin Kester, knowing very little about it except that the Viper clan of vampires had reason to be upset with them. Her father doesn't want to live in a world where they hate each other for being vampires and Strix, or where the Strix are involved in developing chemicals that hurt vampires. Kassandra grows up wanting to help others, and as she deals with people bullying her because she's not very ladylike and she's a Strix, so they all hide their younger siblings. The only thing Kassandra can think she wants to do is veil agent work. Why not? Why not do something that protected everyone? That protected everyone when one of her lot went bad. They didn't have any Strix, so she knew it would be a challenge, and so with her brother and her cousin's help, she made sure to work hard on her health and fitness, always keeping her body lean and able to fly fast and run fast. She was so athletic growing up, her family wanted her to get involved in sports, but she was determined on where she wanted to go. Initially, she tried to get a job in the police academy, but for women there was only secretary work, and so she tried for a little while, but after breaking someone's arm in a citizen's arrest for assaulting her, it was obvious she was not going to be one of those women trapped in a typing pool. When she rescued a group of vampires from a werewolf attack by picking it up and dropping it in water, only to keep grabbing at it and dropping it in the pool until the veil agents arrived, Obadiah the Mastema came to see her. He offered her the job she wanted most, and and Cassandra was excited not to be going into the typing pool. She wasn't the first female agent, but the first Strix, and yet, even in this organisation, she found there were still bad attitudes, so she was working her way through things until they started giving her respect. Everyone was starting to enjoy her company, although she often rubbed people the wrong way. Then they put her with Aurel. They were expecting to have a difficult time, but instead it led to something that was not exactly welcome within work, but certainly a shock for both of them. Final comments. I like Cassandra. I let her to. I like her later in. I like her later as well in other stories like the Fangless Viper, and it's mainly because she's very accepting of everything. And hopefully you'll like her in the Last Rattle. Thank you for listening.